Start from here, as Paul mentioned earlier on today, it is the racing line, so it is the cleanest side of the circuit. Just waiting on the 34 car of Craig Gilbert to get into his car park.
It's a wee bit out of place there, perhaps Paul Clark's out of place.
Well, 1, 2, 3.
Sure, Gobby was third fastest.
The way I read it on my screen, it's James Parker, John Hepburn, Craig Gilbert, but Paul Clark be like, well, if you want to give me third, I'll take it.
Gobby's obviously having a wee bit of a think there because that's the clean side of the track. I'm sure that you're right, they're in the wrong spot.
They are according to our timing screen. Paul Clark's not in his grid position properly either. But anyway, they've got the red lights, we're getting ready for the go.
And we're off a bit of a slow start from Gilbert off the second row. Rod Heyman 2 bogs it down from around the 5th row, but it's going to be Hepburn leads him into Parenco for the first time from the 68 car. And everyone getting through Parenco, not too bad, but Rod Heyman, a bit of a shocker there off the start line. He's managed to get it underway. Round through Castrol they go. It's going to be Hepburn leads him down the back straight. From the 68, then Mike Small, then here comes Paul Clark, goes through on Mike Small, and Craig Gilbert. He'll line Small up as well as they head down towards John Jones Steel. The Mobile One Mainland muscle cars underway. Tinley off the back, but now he's past a couple too, so maybe a moment there for Bruce Tinley as they disappear up round the top end of the track, up round through the Gerald McKissick curve. 8 laps for these guys, it won't be too long and the race will be over. Very much a sprint race as they come into the Carter's Valuation hairpin.
James Parker's got ahead of John Hepburn in the unsighted part of the circuit.
He has, he managed to get through. Side by side the two of them as they come down through the kink. He's managed to hang on to it, Parker. Down the front straight to reel off lap number 1. Hepburn comes across and tries and has a look around the outside, but he keeps that Timaru in the middle of the track, makes it pretty hard to get through. Paul Clark sitting there in 4th place, no, 3rd place. Gilbert in 4th, Small in 5th. Down the back straight once again. Who's got the pedal to the metal? It's the 68, just opens up a few cars over John Hepburn. Here comes Gilbert, going to have a look up the inside of Clark, down to the John Jones Steel, no way through. And in fact, it looked like Clark got held up a little bit that time from Hepburn, which has allowed the car out the front just to get away James Parker.
So I did mention earlier on this morning in qualifying that Craig Gilbert's Camaro looked like it had the legs in a straight line over the rest of the field, so that might come into play and assist him in passing the cars in front. We'll see how that plays out.
Out of the hairpin once again, still the 68, James Parker. All the way from Narrawa here. Around the left-handed sweeper, down through the kink to reel off another lap. Oh, gets a wee bit out of shape as he comes through the kink. Down into Parenco, and Hepburn nowhere near close enough to force any sort of move. Neither is Gilbert on Clark. Bit of a gap back to Small. It goes back to McLaughlin in the number 69. Some good battles going back a wee bit further. Rod Heyman just managing to stick in front of Grant Sisson in the 13 car. And then it's Jason Galbraith in the 24 car having a good go with the American Mustang, car 321.
So James Parker was 0.6 of a second faster than Johnny Hepburn on that lap, and as you can see visually is slowly moving away from John.
Up round through the top of the track they go, which is just out of our vision here in the commentary box. Pick them up just as they come through the right-hand kink before the hairpin. Still number 68 it is, leads out of there. James Parker opened up about a half dozen car lengths now back to John Hepburn. Through the left-hand sweeper they go. Down through the kink, onto the front straight. Looks very settled the car this time through. James Parker, just a second between him and Hepburn. Gilbert's managed to get up to 3rd, so he's got through on Paul Clark up through the top end there. And Mike Small's starting to come up under a little bit of pressure now from McLaughlin in the 69 Mustang.
So fastest lap of the race for Craig Gilbert that time round, a 1:05.6.
Still a long way off the lap record, a 1:03.5 set from Craig Gilbert 3 years ago. Battles down through the ranks as well. Car number 71, Greg Cuttance in the Dick Johnson replica Mustang. Gary Morgan in the 55 car.
Then we've got the 71 car, the XU1 GTR Tirana, Dave King, just crossing the line on a 1:17.8.
Just minding his own business at the back of the field as the leaders come out of the hairpin once more. Still James Parker and the big Chevy Camaro. Down through the kink he comes, and Hepburn can't do much about it. He's falling back a wee bit further each lap, and in fact starting to fall back into the clutches of Craig Gilbert now as they go into the Parenco S's. Bit of a gap back to Paul Clark. Mike Small still coming under a wee bit of pressure there from McLaughlin.
So Craig Gilbert was the fastest of that trio once again on that lap, doing a 1:05.6 versus a 1:06.2 for James Parker and a 1:06.1 for Johnny Hepburn.
Here he goes, having a look up the inside down the braking zone. Craig Gilbert side by side with Hepburn. Through he goes. Great pass there from Gilbert, although you see he's a bit slow coming out. Hepburn gives him a bit of a nudge by the look of it as they disappear out of view. Obviously going up that inside line slows you down a wee bit on the exit of John Jones Steele.
Well, he's very twitchy going in there under braking.
So Hepburn all over the back of Craig Gilbert. Coming out of the hairpin. Race leader still out in front, the 68, James Parker. Down through the kink. What can Gilbert do now with 3 or 4 laps to go? Closes up a wee bit under brakes there, Gilbert.
So Craig Gilbert pulled in 0.3 of a second over James Parker on that lap, and another fastest lap for Craig, a 1:05.5.
Pedal on the metal. James Parker. What can Craig Gilbert do this time? Doesn't seem to be gaining as such, Craig Gilbert, but starting to pull away a wee bit from Johnny Hepburn there in the 3rd spot. So Rod Heyman's managed to get through on Mike Small, and not too far away from getting through on McLaughlin either, so good fight back from Rod Heyman, dairy farmer for Otayo. This battle's still continuing further down the pack. Car 71, Greg Cuttance, and Barry Morgan in the 55 car. Oh, we've got Ryan Tinley coming in the Monaro car number 4. There's problems for that Monaro this time through, but lap traffic going to come into play very shortly with 2 laps to go. Still James Parker it is from Craig Gilbert, then Hepburn. Paul Clark back and forth all by himself. And keep your eye on this next battle coming through. 69 McLaughlin and the 56 of Rod Heyman. Heyman closes up under brakes, done a little bit of work on the development of the handling of that car. As we got Gilbert now closing up, a couple of car lengths as they head down towards John Jones. It's a pretty wide car, that number 68 of Chevy Camaro of James Parker, let alone trying to sneak up the inside of it. So Parker still leads up round the back, the Gerald McKissick curve. And they're battled further down the pack there. Barry Morgan's managed to get through on Greg Cuttance in the Mustang. Leaders into the hairpin not far behind them. Still the 68, James Parker through the left-handed sweeper. Gilbert not really close enough to force any sort of move. The last lap board this time for him as he comes through. Got a wee bit out of shape coming through the kink. Lap to go.
Craig Gilbert's halved the gap on that lap round.
Okay, right on the back of him this time. He needs to get a good run out of Castrol. Bit of lap traffic up in front too. But their car number 68's got good drive out onto the back straight. And just opens up a couple of car lengths. Gilbert closes in under brakes, but no way through. It's a pretty wide Camaro, that one. And you'll see once again that the 68 pulls away from Craig Gilbert. He's taken that tighter inside line, Craig Gilbert going through John Jones. Car 321, the big Mustang, going through on Mike Small as well. So leader coming out of the hairpin. Lap traffic right in front of him through the left-hand sweeper. What can Gilbert do about this? Probably not a hell of a lot. He's managed to get through all right. The 68 of James Parker down through the kinks, going to come across and take the checkered flag. Gilbert will take second, and Hepburn will take third for that. Then we come across Paul Clark in the 49 car, finishes fourth. Great stuff there Fastest lap of the race, James Parker at 1:05.4. Steve McLaughlin comes through in the 69 car. So Rod Heyman must have had a moment up the top end of the track somewhere, because he was right there with Steve McLaughlin. Now he's way back further down the field. In fact, he's just coming through the kink now. All damage too to Grant's system. Looks like a bonnet pin come off the 13 car.
As the Heyman car goes through, the 32, the lovely fastback Tirana of Mark Jenner. And that 27 Capri Piranha we were mentioning earlier on today, the V8 Capri from Queenstown of Dan Barlow. 177 13th was Ross Wild. Bruce Tinley just coming into the pits, now taking a shortcut as car 55 Barry Morgan crosses the line.
Ryan Tinley in the pits with the bonnet up. Obviously got some sort of mechanical issue there.
Bruce Tinley just slowly rolling in and has stopped. At least he got off the circuit and out of the way. But good win there to James Parker. Pole to flag victory.
Good racing amongst those top four.
Was, and Craig Gilbert was hunting him down at the end, so we'll be looking forward to the next race for the Mobil 1 Mainland muscle cars.
Yeah, unfortunately Craig Gilbert got off to a poor start, so I think that hampered him. Lost 2 places right on the start line, so if he can get a clean start next time around, look out.
Okay, as the Mobil 1 Mainland muscle cars